Hello and welcome back to the Fox Strength and Performance YouTube channel. I'm Taylor Fox and we're back at Powerbuilding Warrington, and this is going to be my first session returning to Strongman training. So I'm pretty excited. Really want to hit it off well to start and make sure we, set a good foundation and hit a good stride. So got some good mobility routines going here to make sure I'm feeling good and prepared. I did have a little bit of a pec strain doing the legs up bench press, so I want to make sure I'm getting the shoulders moving, and I feel a lot better, like mobility wise, with the cleans and some of the other movements. Doing the more of like a hypertrophy bodybuilding stuff and losing some weight. So I'd like to continue to enforce that mobility stuff moving into this program. Like, you'll see later, they're not great jerks, but I do work on some kind of jerk style lifts and just trying to be a little bit better with the overhead mobility. So this is going to be a barbell jump. I've really wanted to add these type of things in, and I've been incorporating with some clients as well, and I think it's a good way to work on the explosive effort and then also just improve the push pressing, jerking. And then this is my terrible windmill, although I would say this is a lot better than it has been. Probably the best that it's been, to be honest. And normally I'll grab a 30-45 pound kettlebell. This is the 62, and I feel pretty comfortable pressing it like that. Usually the shoulders are a little jacked up or whatever, but feeling pretty good, and getting the mobility and the pressing, no elbow pain, so that's good to start. I wasn't planning on trying these jumps with the log, but I was like, let's give it a shot. So moving up from 88 pounds to 135 and just seeing how that felt. It's not necessarily the most advisable thing. You have your head back, the log is kind of pressed up against your chin, so it can just kind of bump up and hit you in the chin, which don't really want. But at the same time, I want to work on that position of being able to dip the hips back and drive up. So I think the jumping with the implement will help. Maybe it'll be better if I just do it with the 70 pound log and add some weight, whatever. So I did feel good with these jerks, but problem is I'm still kind of lacking that mobility that's needed to kind of snap underneath the implement. So you see the catch position is kind of wonky, it's not necessarily the best thing. And then it's okay, maybe I just go with the push press instead, just push press it and kind of drive through my head at the top and see if that feels a little bit better, because the jerking clearly wasn't as efficient as I would like, and it's way easier when I press just normally and push press and then drive my head through at the top. And I think the mobility stuff is a work in progress. I would definitely like to get a little bit more of a dip back with the hips, kind of straight up and down. But overall, I feel strong. I feel good pressing 235 to start out. Not the most impressive thing ever for me and for the weight class that I'm competing in, but as far as other people and just after losing 40 pounds and kind of holding that weight pretty solid, I would say it's a good starting point, especially no belt, no sleeves, no wraps. Not necessarily the intention, but I did leave my gym bag in my garage after I cleaned out my old car and just have yet to really put everything back together the way I need it on a daily basis. And it was interesting because now I'm recording this after my second day, and I have gone 2 days into the program with no bag whatsoever, no equipment, nothing besides a mouthpiece and Metcons, and that's it. Really excited to incorporate these, especially at a heavier weight, doing some zerchers from the floor with the axle into kind of a power extension. So I've done this a little bit of a circuit before, but I've never thrown like a ton more weight on for the Zerchers. So I want to be able to do the press, power clean and press very cleanly, but then I also want to be able to overload the Zercher movement. So my idea for today was 2 singles with one movement and then 2 singles with the next movement, and just kind of switch back and forth. It might work better to do 4 singles with 30-second intervals and then switch over to the other movement and do that back and forth to get the 8 singles at each. I think I might try that next week, but trying to get a little bit more snappy, get right under the bar, and then go right to the press. Definitely something I see with certain competitors, especially like 105 guys and lighter weights, that are able to complete these medleys very quickly because they can just snap under the bar and go from there. So we'll see what I can make happen, but overall just looking for my press to be a little bit stronger and more well equipped. So I'm excited to see how that goes, and we'll go from there. But just enjoying being back into the training and happy to be hitting stuff a little bit more in this style. I kind of really wasn't sure what direction to go in for a little bit, and it was like doing the hypertrophy, and then it was like strongman, and it was like I'm pretty beat up. And then once I was like, I'll just commit like what time I can to the gym, and then it's like, okay, time to up the calories. And once I up the calories, still kind of in a maintenance, but I can definitely feel the improvement just from the extra food. So pretty happy to be back eating some legitimate meals again and getting that in. And I definitely feel like, even though I'm still acclimated to this program, good first week, and I can feel the effect from that food. So I'm happy and feeling pretty strong and ready to go. So we're going to keep pushing forward. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. Until next time, keep lifting those heavy weights and hold strong.